Avatar Meher Baba's tomb shrine, Samadhi. The most sacred place associated with Avatar Meher Baba is his tomb shrine. Baba chose this site in May 1927 and had a small hut of bamboo matting and steel sheets built here. On June 30th, the new Meher Ashram for boys was transferred from the family quarters in Arangao here to the hill, and Baba spent that night in this new hut. Soon after, he ordered a pit to be dug on the spot. This pit was lined with stone masonry and small steps were built leading down into the crypt, which was 80 inches long, 40 inches wide and 70 inches deep. A platform was built extending from the east wall of the crypt so that Baba could greet visitors and gather with the schoolboys there. Another hut of wood and steel sheets was erected over the crypt with a door to the south and a window opening to the east from which Baba would access the platform. In August 1927, this site became Baba's seat at Meherabad. On November 10th, he began a 5.5-month period of seclusion and fasting. During this time, a row of structures made of bamboo matting was constructed, extending to the north from the crypt room. This became the Sadak, Seeker's Ashram, and 4 men disciples fasted in seclusion inside these rooms for 2.5 months, beginning in December 1927. At the same time, Baba began to impart spiritual explanations to the boys, and many of them experienced great inner transformation through his personal contact. This was the beginning of the Prem Ashram. After the ashram group returned from Toka in 1929, the wooden walls of the crypt room were replaced with soft stone construction and windows were added to the north and west sides. Some beautiful photographs were taken of Baba and the ashram boys on this site during that period. In 1938, the crypt was rebuilt into what is seen today with stones from the original post office building. Baba asked Naoroji Dadachanji to design the dome and to include the symbols of 4 world religions, the Zoroastrian flame, the Hindu temple, the Christian cross, and the Islamic mosque. Later that year, Baba asked the Swiss artist Helen Dahm, who was staying in the ashram, to paint murals on the interior surfaces. The platform to the east was rebuilt and 5 meditation cells were added to commemorate the Sadak ashram. The Italian Carrara marble slab over Baba's tomb was chosen and given by Ranu Geli and installed by Padri in late 1971. In the early 1970s, Mehra asked Charles Morton to create a stained glass work for the north window from a photograph of her choice. Since the medium required extensive work, Charlie thought it would be a good idea to make a painting of it first for approval by those supervising the work, Mehra, Mani and Rano. In 1991, by Mani's decision, the painting itself was installed. The exterior colors of the Samadhi were chosen by Mani, and a complete restoration of the original building was done from 1990 to 1992. During Sahavas programs at Meherabad in the 1950s, Meher Baba impressed upon people how fortunate they were to bow down at his future tomb in his physical presence. In November 1955, he stated, 60 years after my body drops, people in the thousands will come here and will collect even the very dust of this Meherabad because I have trod on it. In February 1958, he declared, after I drop my body, the physical remains will rest here, and this hill will become an important place of pilgrimage for the whole world. You all do not realize the importance of this day. After 70 years, this place will be a place of great privilege and pilgrimage. A big town will grow up here. How fortunate you are that you are hearing about the importance of this place in the physical presence of Him to whose Samadhi will flock one day from all over the world, all the lovers of God, philosophers and worshippers to pay their homage. On January 31st, 1969, Avatar Meher Baba dropped his body at Meherabad, and his body was brought here to be buried. As the coffin and tomb were being prepared, Baba's body was kept inside his cabin on the stretcher that is still there. His body was then placed on the lid of the coffin and lowered into the crypt. It was kept surrounded by flowers and blocks of ice, and in keeping with hints previously given by him, Baba's body was uninterred for 7 days so that his lovers from around the world might have one last chance to see his physical form. There was no sign of decomposition when the box of the coffin was placed over his body and buried on February 7th.